Breaking news from the stadium tonight as an anonymous fan foot the bill for 55,000 hot dogs, bringing that sweet tubed meat to everyone in attendance.
Free dogs! Yeah!
55,000 hot dogs? What does that even cost? While the identity of this Frankfurter philanthropist remains anonymous, their all-beefy generosity will go down in history.
The new Mega Millions. More to win means more to give. How you spend it is up to you. Yeah!
For game odds and details, visit sceducationlottery.com.
It's Jonte and Rich. Shoot us a text. Text JJR, whatever you want to say, to the number 96893. I just got a DM I want to read you guys. A DM direct message on Instagram. I was telling you guys about that TV show I started watching on Amazon, which is number one, called On Call. Any of you guys check it out yet?
No, not yet.
And
but
I told you it was crazy realistic. Mm-hmm. This message is about that. It says, yeah, man, On Call is the ish, ultra realistic from both the cop and criminal perspective. He says, I almost skipped it because I thought it was just another cop show that they're trying to shove down my throat, but they kept bombarding me. I finally said, F it, I'm going to give it a try. Instantly addicted. I like how there's no real intro. They just plop down straight into action. I don't know why, but the main star reminded me of Payton, and I actually kept wondering if it was her starring in it. But I thought for sure you guys would have mentioned it.
For sure. We would have. Yeah, we definitely would have.
Number one show on Netflix. Sorry, Payton.
Oh my gosh, now I need to look it up.
I shot Payton a text, but was surprised you didn't make the same connection when you were talking about it. You're only on episode 2, though. I can tell you this: 8 episodes is not enough. I need a season 2 pronto. Also, I don't know how to text you guys. I think it's because I've come to the conclusion that you all are assuming that everyone in the area lives in Arizona and they know their area code. You don't need to know an area code to text, do you?
No.
No. Also, I try the talkback thing a million times. You never respond or put my talkbacks on the air. So I don't know if they went through. Anyway, then he goes on to say, dare I say, maybe the best show I've ever seen is what he calls the show.
That's
it's that guy, Dick Wolf, man. He does good stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's called and he goes, it moves very fast. 8 episodes went by in 4 hours. Like when Kyle watches on time and a half or whatever she does, it'll be over. I quote, literally, don't know what I'm supposed to compare it to because there's no show out there like this. So it's called On Call. It's on Amazon. And Payton is not the star. Anyway, I suggest you guys check it out. Payton, let's get into your possible summertime job.
Yeah. So my dad came up to me a couple weeks ago and he asked me if I would be interested in coaching a club basketball team this summer. Now, I grew up playing club basketball. I got to travel the country. I got to do so much fun stuff growing up. I missed out on a lot of cool stuff with like my regular friends, but I got to do a lot of cool stuff traveling the country with my dad as my coach. And so I was like, maybe I do want to get into club coaching because I feel like that was such a substantial part of my life, and I would love to be able to give that back and be able to help like some other girls go through that too. You know what I mean? Like it really is. I think that's like playing club basketball is completely the reason why I am the way that I am today. Like it instilled my confidence, like it instilled my emotion, like seriously, all of that. And so I'm debating if I want to coach. And the problem is I don't know if I'm mentally prepared to handle the parents of club basketball because I coach high school girls basketball and you don't have to pay to play high school club or high school basketball. You just make a team and then you go from there. Where club, it's a lot of money that you're paying to have your kid be seen by these college coaches. And with a lot of money comes, you know what I mean? Oh, I'm paying you so my kid should play. And you know what I mean? And I'm 26. I'm not very good with confrontation and I cry. And I don't know if I am prepared to handle people that are 20 years older than me yelling at me because their kid's not playing.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm a little on the fence if I want to do it. And I told my dad, I was like, if I do this, you got to handle the parent stuff because I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl.
But you can't say that because that's part of it. That's a big part of it. It's a huge. I was the parent, and I tried to never ever throw my 2 cents in, and it is so hard to not do that. Meanwhile, when you see other parents are just on the other side of that, they're crazy.
Yeah.
Screaming and yelling and getting in the coach's face.
And I'm crazy. And I got an attitude problem sometimes. So if you yell at me, I'm probably going to yell at you too.
When my son was 15, he was on a club ball team with his coach. It was amazing. In fact, I saw him last night. And I remember they were in Atlanta for a tournament. I wasn't there, but my wife was there. And a fight broke out between the coach and one of the parents.
Oh, no.
Like, it was crazy. And then the coach got fired.
Yeah.
And he was a great coach. But he's fine. You know what I mean? But his son plays in the NBA, so I would listen to that coach.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, Payton. I wouldn't do it.
I know, isn't that crazy?
You don't need you to come in, unless you're willing to come in here and talk about it.
Oh, I would.
Let me tell you what this parent said.
I mean, I would
No, you
assume
wouldn't.
that I would. I would think I would.
What did your dad say when you're like, you got to talk to the parents? I'm not dealing with that.
He was like, okay. I mean, he wasn't giving me any pushback because if I were to coach a team, my dad would 100% be on my staff. Like, I would have him there.
Well, isn't he also coaching teams?
Yeah, but he would make sure. My dad basically never missed one of my basketball games. And he tries not to miss any of my games coaching. So I feel like he'll show up for me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Yesterday I had this. I was supposed to have this lunch. It's so soon, but like the radio station wants to start talking about Love Pup Family Fest later on this year. You know, because it was tremendous. So I had this lunch yesterday, and I was like all mentally prepared for this lunch, and I was going to. I was debating whether or not I was going to do that new drink I told you guys about, where I had 2 espresso shots over ice, and it jacked me up.
Yeah.
So I was about to have. I was like, should I have this? Because I felt like I had low energy. Maybe I'll do one of these espresso shots. I was like, no, I'm just going to go in because if I'm low energy, I can just listen to what they're saying because it's very hard for me to listen. So
That's true.
So I was like, all right. And then I got a text, and it was with our boss, and he canceled lunch because he's sick. He goes, I'm really sick. He called me, and he's like, I'm in the parking lot. I don't feel good. And I got this, that. And then it made me think of, because I remember was it before the break or was it a week ago when Easton was sick?
Yeah, it was a week ago.
What did he have?
He was throwing up. He was nauseous. Some type of flu bug for sure.
And then did it spread in your house?
We thought we were in the clear because I think he got sick like Wednesday night and all day Thursday. He was like not great. And, we were going to Denver. So I'm like, I don't want to take a sick throwing up kid on a flight. Mm-hmm. And Thursday evening, it was like, he's like, I think I'm better, Mommy. I think I'm going to be good for the flight tomorrow. And I was like, oh, great. This is awesome. And all weekend, we were all great. And I'm like, whew, that was a close call. And then Monday, sure enough, Scott got it.
Oh, no.
Bummer.
He did.
Out for the count. He's like, it started off and he was like, I've told you guys before, like sometimes like when we're hanging out as a family in the house, Scott just disappears and I don't know where he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know what he's doing. Half the time he's on the toilet. Sometimes he goes into his office. I don't know. I just like leave him alone. Like he just needs his time or whatever. But he comes out and he's like, sorry, I'm like MIA right now. I really don't feel good. And so he got basically the same thing Easton got. So we all sleep in the same room right now.
Your whole family?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It started last summer when we let the kids bring mattresses into our room and we were doing like cool summer sleepovers and then the kids just never left. So
That's fun. You'll miss those times later. They're kind of weird now.
I really like it.
I think it's
Scott's
cool.
ready for it to not be happening, but I'm like, I think it's so cute. It's like fun. Like they're not in the bed with us. They
Right.
each have their own little like twin mattress on the floor. But anyway, so because he was sick, I was like, we're not sleeping in there. We're sleeping in separate rooms. Like he's got to have his space and then the air, and I don't want it. So me and the kids then went and we slept in another room, and we've just been sleeping in another room.
That's going to be a new thing now.
Do you feel like you sleep better in the other room?
I don't really have issues sleeping at
Okay.
all. Like wherever I sleep, I'm usually
Okay.
pretty good. So, but I'm like, I looked at Scott yesterday and I'm like, kind of miss you at night.
Aw.
It's because we like haven't washed the sheets yet, and I don't want to sleep in the sheets until they're clean.
Oh, yeah, not with
'cause
a
I don't
sickie
wanna
in there.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because watching, like, I mean, both of them when it hit them, like, I feel for our boss because when it hit both of them, it was like, oh, when you see someone you love and they're in pain and they're clearly like can't get out of it and can't control what's happening to them. It's such a terrible feeling for
Yeah,
them.
he called me in the parking lot, and he was like, I got to go home. I don't feel good. I can't go to lunch. And I was like, my first thing was like, thank God I didn't have that double espresso shot.
Oh my gosh, you would have been jacked up. I think it's influenza A that's going around. My grandma has been like super sick with a stomach bug, fever.
Did you guys see?
And she's down bad.
The flu list, I guess the flu's way up, and Arizona is like the number 1 or 2 state for
I
hospitalization.
think I got it over
for the
Thanksgiving.
flu.
Thankfully,
Well,
I kind of passed it. But
I went to go give blood yesterday because I like to give back as much as I can to
Look
the
at
community.
you.
Of course.
And something happened yesterday. They told me there's something going around, right? So I had to answer my wife went with me, right? So I said, and my wife's the person that you put on your sign, when you sign up for a doctor and they say, who else can
Oh
share this
yeah,
information?
like your
case of
emergency.
emergency.
Your
Yeah, she's the person. Share the information with her. So I go to give blood, and they say, we're ready for you. And I go, okay. I go, come with me to my wife. And they go, no, she can't come. I'm like, what do you mean she can't come? She's like on my thing. And they go, doesn't matter. There's a bunch of personal questions we're going to ask you, which they do all the time when you give blood. And I go, she knows everything. You can bring her in. She can't come in. The lady says she can't come in. I'm like, Blake goes, all right. She goes and sits down. So I sit down. They ask me all these questions, tons of questions, which I've answered a million times when I give blood. And I said, how come she can't come in? She goes, we don't let toddlers in with their parents in here. And it's a small room. Like, you know those little studios back there? It's like that. You go in a little room like that, right? Like, what do you mean you don't let toddlers in? She goes, that's how the government has it set up. You can't. She goes, if a woman was here with an infant, we don't let the infant in.
What do you do with the infant?
That's weird.
Somebody else watches. I go, I don't understand something. I said, I'm giving blood for free for you. Like, and essentially, I'm doing you a favor. I said, and you guys are selling the blood to the hospital, if I understand. So if I come in with my toddler or my infant, you should let me have them in here.
Yeah, and who's going to, leave their toddler out alone?
Right. So,
That's weird.
So she goes, don't bring your baby in here. Then I realized I was dealing with, she literally raised her hand, don't bring your baby in here. We're not babysitters. I was like, exactly. So my baby will be with me. So anyway, I don't have a baby. And I'm getting into this argument with her in this circle. And I realize I'm having one of these arguments with these people that it doesn't matter what.
No matter what you say.
Anywhere.
Like the common sense isn't hitting.
No.
And then I was like, well, if I'm a single mother, I am not coming here to donate blood.
Stand your ground.
Yeah, I was so irritated.
That's so funny. We were talking about, everyone's getting sick. They're actually calling it a quademic.
Oh, well, what is that?
Yeah, so they say it's the rise of influenza, RSV, and COVID-19 and norovirus. And so they're calling it the quademic. So it's like, someone that's
Don't
sick,
go anywhere.
chances are they've got one of those.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have supervision, enhanced hearing, extraordinary reflexes, to be, dare we say, superhuman? Well, Roku's new Pro Series TV can't do any of that for you. But with a 4K screen, side-firing speakers, and a blazing fast refresh rate, it'll sure feel like it. Elevate your entertainment using all your favorite apps like iHeart and play all your music, radio, and podcasts with the new Roku Pro Series. Your senses aren't better. Your TV is.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include a lot more people than ourselves. Loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, we help plan your financial picture with the bigger picture in mind. Because even though our business is helping guide your finances, our ambition is to make it mean so much more. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
One lottery ticket makes a big difference for our state students. And when I say big, I mean bigger than jackpot big. Since 2002, South Carolina students have benefited from more than $6 billion in lottery-funded scholarships and grants, including the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. With every lottery play, you're supporting our students, and that adds up in a big way. That's why education is our middle name. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.